Hey guys, it's Michael from My Account Beans. The purpose of this playlist is to help you, the small business owner, do your own bookkeeping in Xero. If you like these videos, please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Hey guys, in this first step, I'm going to show you how you sign up to Xero and just briefly explain the different plans. So go to xero.com.au, pricing plans, and then scroll down here, and what you want to do is pick the plan that suits you. So Ignite is the bare minimum. So this is the plan if you're a startup, and most people would use the Grow plan. And the difference between them are Ignite, you can only have 20 invoices or quotes and 5 bills. So that's very limiting. So it's a real small business. You have one person on payroll with Ignite, which is good, and Grow 2 people, etc. And Auto Super is now a feature available for all plans from Ignite throughout. So that's a big change Xero has just done. So yeah, basically startups will be Ignite. Everyone else usually fits into Grow or above. And so you want to click on Try Xero for free. Then just fill this out, all the details here. Click Next for confirmation, and then you'll be prompted with an email to set up your username and password. Hey guys, in this video, we're going to show you the basic setup of Xero. So as you can see here, we're in the setup process. We've already paid for our subscription, and now this is the step 2 in the process. So what you're going to do is just going to click on Next. And the first step is you want to put in all your organizational details. So your display name is usually just the legal name. So for example, a trading name, and then you can have your legal / trading name. So for example, if you've got a prior to limited company trading as asserting trading name, you put this here. So I'll put that in for us here. If you're unsure of any of this, you can ask your accountant. Also, if you go to the ABR lookup in Australia here, it'll give you your ABN and it'll give you your trading name down the bottom. So list all that, put what kind of organization you're dealing with. In our example, it's a company. Make sure you've got your ABN handy when you're putting this detail in. And then you just want to put through your postal, physical address. And then the next tab, it'll also have your financial settings. So I'll pause this while we get that. And then the next step, we'll talk about our users. All right, guys, so we put our basic organizational settings and financial settings in. The next section asks for invoice settings. So you can either do that at this stage or you can skip it and do it later. I find it's often better to skip this and do that once you're setting up your invoice settings yourself. So that way you can make tweaks, etc. in it. But for the purpose of this video, we'll show you how you do it. So in here, for example, we go to yes, and you can click on upload a logo. So in here, you can browse a file and upload there. And in this side, if you go and edit, you can change the branding theme here. So basic details come standard. You can leave all of this here. The things I would change here might be something like to add details of please include EFT as a reference on invoices and actually put your bank's BSB and account number in this section. And I would also copy the same thing into the quotes. You might also want to show contact account number, box ticked as well, and then finalize that. So all of this other details you can pretty much leave blank, but this is the main ones you want to fill out with your bank details. So that way when you're invoicing, people know what bank account to pay you into. So I'm just going to go cancel and leave that for now. We'll come back to that later. The next step here is in relation to inviting in users into Xero. So for example, if you want to invite other people into the Xero file, this is the time that you would do this now. And again, right now I'm going to skip this step, but if you wanted to invite your accountant in, or you had another employee, you wanted to invite here that had access to Xero, so they were doing invoicing or something, you do it at this point. And if you've got no one to invite, just go no, skip this step. Currencies, most people won't have to worry about currencies. So I wouldn't worry about that. Plus the plan we're on at the moment doesn't have currencies. So we'll just go skip this step. Now, this is probably the most important part when setting up Xero. This is the chart of accounts you want to choose. So Xero has a default, which is the one they provide, or you can import your own. Now, we're an accounting firm, so we have our own set chart of accounts that we like to use. However, Xero's is totally fine. So if you want to go with Xero's, you would just click next. I'll show you how you import if you want to do that option. So in my example, I'm going to import here. This is a Xero system. So I've got the Xero default chart of accounts and there's no balances. So I click no. Then I just click browse, upload, import. And this is a GST field chart of accounts. So they're all done. So it's just saying here that they'll be imported. And I can click confirm. And then it's going to take us to the final section of this onboarding. These are bank accounts here. So the different types of accounts, we can leave them blank for now. But what I usually do is like we have 3 set bank accounts as part of our process. Just leave it for now. Actually we will put bank in here. I'll put 2 in there and I'm just going to put blanket details in here until I get a chance to actually add that in Xero. And you'll see why. We're going to come back to that. So that's all the details are in there now. So next step, you get down the bottom here, click next. And we're going to go back from April. So yep, that's fine with me. Conversion date, that's all good. Actually, I think I need to go back one more. So March. And okay, so this is probably a bit more tricky. If you have just started a business for the very first time, this will be easy. It'll just be the date you start. If you're moving from another system, this is probably where you have to get an accountant to help you out. And this is where you bring in the opening balances from a prior business. So because this is the first time we've used this particular entity, we don't have any opening balances. But if you did have opening balances, this is where you'd put them in. So you'd have to pick a date. So let's just say you were converting at the end of February. You need to put the basic details from your prior software in here. So this is probably not something that you can explain easily on this video. In simple terms, you probably want to say, if you don't know what you're doing here, this is probably when you get professionals help to help with the opening balances, or you just leave them blank. So at a bare minimum, if you put the bank account opening balances in here and your age receivables and payables, you could put the final balance to suspense for whatever's left, and then your accountant can come and help you with that. But again, this is probably an area with opening balances. If you are not a new business, i.e. you've been having trading for several years and now you decided to use Xero, you're probably going to want to help with this. But my best advice would be just leave it blank if you're not sure like this, and just push forward and start using Xero, and you can always tidy up the past afterwards. And this can be changed. So for now, we're going to assume it's nothing. It's saying the setup's all complete. And the very final step is we just click on finished. All right, so we're partway through. Very good. So now we're in our very, very basic Xero file here. So quick layout navigation. Over on the left, we've got our bank accounts. Of course, they're not real bank accounts. We actually have to sign up with the bank. So let's just say you want to now actually put the correct details in here. Click on account transactions, click here and click on edit account details. This is when you go find your bank. So let's just say you're with Commonwealth Bank. You can go Commonwealth Bank, and then you could give a name. Let's just say it's business transaction account. And then this is where you put the BSB and account numbers in here. So pretty self-explanatory, whatever your BSB and account numbers are, save. Obviously that's not correct, but you get the point. And now you can see that if we go back to bank accounts up here, this one has got the Commonwealth Bank symbol. So Xero's picked up that when we selected Commonwealth, that's that. But again, we have to put the correct account, BSB and account number in. And we'll do the same thing for this one. So I'm going to go manage account, edit account details. Again, select your bank. So if you were with Commonwealth, for example, you'd select Commonwealth. Yes, bank feeds are available. Let's call this business saver account. And let's just assume that there was like that. You could be with any bank. Let's say you're with Westpac or NAB or whatever. The same details apply. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to, click on the setup guide. We're going to go back to the start. All right. So skip this. So this is essentially the home screen. This is our starting section. So what you want to do is once you've put your 2 bank details in here, the next step you want to do is click Get Bank Feeds. Now, what this is going to do, it's going to prompt you to log into your bank. So for example, if you were a CBA, you'd click Login and Connect to Accounts. And what that would then do is it would prompt you to go into the Commonwealth Bank NetBank or NAB Connect or ANZ, whoever you're with, right? Most of them will have a login that's similar to this, and it'll ask you to prompt to log in, follow the steps, and then that will connect your internet banking to Xero. And it's just a read-only connection. So we won't bother doing that now. It's very self-explanatory. Just follow the steps. So we don't need to go through that. But essentially, once you've done that, then that will be all connected. So I'm going to go get out of here, click back up the setup guide. And yeah, so guys, that's basically, in a nutshell, this is probably as far as you would need to go. If you want to do further settings, you can click on settings and you can update more. This is taking us through kind of like a step-by-step guide. So it's trying to prompt us through it. But for now, I'm happy with that. That's given us all the details we need. We've got the basic setup. We've got 2 bank accounts. You can go in and edit your invoice settings after. But for now, that's the basic layout of Xero started. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed this playlist. If your business is growing and you're finding it's too difficult to do your own bookkeeping, it's time to call an accountant. We'll leave our website in the link in the description below and we'll have a chat and see if we can help you out.